Tip. Black Power, brothers and sisters, as always, giving honor to the Creator, giving honor to the ancestors. My sister, Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul of the Street Law Soldiers, my father, my in-laws, and all of your ancestors, and all of our ancestors, as well as all the brothers and sisters, including my subscribers who are fighting for the liberation and salvation of our black nation. Today, we are in celebration mode, actually, for a young brother who was a victim of police terrorism by the system of racism, white inferiority. Now, you know I'm trying my best from now on not to say white supremacy, because those devils are not supreme. So the system of racism, white inferiority, which this brother Philando Castile was 32 years old at the time, was murdered in front of his baby daughter and his queen by a ruthless, fucking, stinking, raw, white, naked ice ape, Ku Klux Klan police motherfucking dog. You know, there'll never be enough degrading words to describe one of those motherfuckers that would do something like that. You know, now if you flip the page and it had it been a black police that would have killed a white boy in front of his ice ape baby and the cave bitch, we would never hear the end of it. Never. And the thing that messes me up, and it's really fucked up, is how the parents and families of our victims go on national TV and talk this forgiveness bullshit. You know, and all along, you know, deep down inside, your ass is hurting to the core of your fucking being. And instead of expressing how you really feel, you know, you say some old fuck shit to satisfy and calm down the rage of the motherfucking white devils, while you watch your babies go into the ground for nothing. Here, this brother had alerted this pig that he had a licensed weapon, a working man, and let this motherfucking dog knew what he had. Yeah, I believe he was a special police or something. And not only did he shoot him before he could grab the gun to let him see the weapon, he shot him 7 times in front of a baby who will be traumatized forever. Forever. And his woman. So forgiveness is the last thing that should be on our minds and in our hearts. You know, and I always say this. If it was something that would happen to someone close to me, one of those pigs or crackers, period, you will never be fucking dead enough. Because that's the way that they feel. They feel the same way. Because it was overkill with Philando Castile. Overkill. When you shot the man, he already slumped over, and you just kept dumping and dumping and dumping bullets into that brother's body. And like I explained to y'all, a bullet is 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit of heat. That's the equivalency of a gas stove or 2 cigars going into your body. You know, it literally cooks the intestines. Literally cooks the intestines. And so that's why some that are lucky, that are able to endure that fire, are in wheelchairs and are unable to even walk. Some are paraplegics, you know, total paraplegics, paralyzed from the neck down, where there's basically no more life. And so we celebrate the ascension of Philando Castile because he was a black man. He was a heterosexual warrior. That's what we celebrate. You know, we never celebrate the passing. You know, and what we do is ask the brother to share his creative energies on the next plane with us while we suffer and go through pure hell in the physical form down here. I mean, well, really not down here, but here. And see, a lot of us don't understand ascension. A lot of us don't understand the process of passing on and passing through. Because we all are passing through until we pass on. And then once we pass on, we're supposed to, by the grace and power of the Creator, to leave a legacy of liberation and emancipation for the generations behind us. But we're getting eliminated before that process is able to take place. And see, this devil knows this shit. And that's why they always murder. The younger, the better for them. Because they don't give our brothers and sisters a chance to create a legacy with their energy, divine energy, to pass on to the generations that's coming behind them. See, you got to understand this whole dynamic. Just like July is the season of police terrorism. Sandra Bland made her ascension in July. Eric Gardner made his ascension in July. So we have to understand and be clear about, you know, the cycles and the summer equinox and how that moon and how things affect this ice age as well as it affects us. Because a lot of times, if you notice during the summer seasons, a lot of us are in a very, very kind and generous mode. If we don't allow the greatest element and the strongest element of in the universe to aggravate us, which we shouldn't, and that's the sun, which provides vitamin D and gives life and light to everything that exists. So it's important for us to go to water. That's why a lot of melanated people go to the beaches. You know, we go around water to concentrate our pineal glands. You know, and that's why the cracker keeps us away from water, because he knows that once our pineal glands remain in concentrated forms, we're at our peak, we're at our best, we're in our full element of who we are. And so they keep us in concrete, they keep us around concrete and steel, where our pineal glands become calcified, we become angry, you know, and we begin to act like him, but towards each other. But nevertheless, that's just a tidbit, you know, trying to just drop a couple of Jews for the brothers and sisters out there, particularly my subscribers. You know, I appreciate all of you. Brother Brian Simpson, who constantly leaves comments, and if I'm in error, he always give me the correct answers and whatnot to whatever subject matter that I'm discussing. So I appreciate that, brother. But Philando Castile, we cannot forget these brothers and sisters, you know, who done nothing, who were just trying to find themselves, you know, trying to create and be a family man and be a real man. You know, and this devil, it's because, see, in Minnesota, you have those so-called white Native Americans who hate blacks too. That's why I tell you all, everybody hates us. And the cracker, this so-called Native American cracker pig, Ice Ape, that took the life of Philando Castile, Geronimo Yanez. That was his name. That's his name. And I got another question for all you, you thugs and you fucking G's and, you bangers and all you motherfucking hardcore motherfuckers, that don't take no shit off nobody but the cracker. Why is it that these crackers get to walk around after they take our people out? Just like Trick Daddy, that goddamn spook coon, that buck dancing jigaboo ass nigga. Him and Trina made a statement that there's no racism in Miami. But see, he didn't think like that when he was broke. But now that the white man, the cracker, and the music industry is finger fucking him in his butt, then he sees no color. Now he's colorblind. And these are just examples of the mindsets that some of us have. Philando Castile was a soldier. In the same way that we eulogize and we call on his energy, everyone wants to be called on like that. Everyone. Nobody wants to be forgotten, especially if you are taken out of here by a devil. And that's what happened. We are afraid to speak up. We don't tell the truth. But like Trick Daddy, says no racism. And I'm quite sure he's ran into George Zimmerman. And see, this is what I say about all these G's. George Zimmerman murdered Trayvon Martin and dead any nigga that come near him. And all you gangster motherfuckers have a deaf ear to all his motherfucking shenanigans, all his bullshit, all his arrests. He keeps getting rearrested. He wants to start some shit. But instead, you G's and you so-called thug and gangster motherfuckers just sit and blow trees all motherfucking day. You ride around, you gritting and looking hard, heated up, you packing, waiting to take somebody out that look like you. And then as soon as you see that blue and red light flashing, you leave your car, you leave your fucking weapon, you start running like a motherfucking a woman that's been raped at prom night. But you supposed to be a G. You supposed to be a G. G's hold court in the streets. They don't believe in getting stopped and cooperating with the authorities. Not no real G. The brothers I came up with, that was their mindset. And of course, most of them were taken out, but they still stood up. They didn't run. And see, that's what you all do. You take the shit out on your brother because you're too much of a coward to deal with the real enemy. That's your real, natural born enemy. How can these people be acquitted? Because this cracker was acquitted for murdering this brother. He was acquitted. And see what they do. They acquit them with the agreement that you get the money on a wrongful death lawsuit. So that means basically, indirectly, you sold your child's soul and cashed his soul in for a paycheck. You play like you're hurt and crying and all this shit. Then when the person is acquitted, you boo-hooing and boo-hooing. But deep down inside, you know the wrongful death lawsuit is coming and you're going to get paid. And now that you got the big house that you always wanted, you got money in the bank, you can do whatever, you travel the world. Now you no longer are hurt. And I don't care what none of you say. I don't care what none of you say. That's why when I do commemorations of our brothers and sisters, I do it for them. I don't do it for the families, and because I know how we act when money is involved. The same way it is at a funeral. The first thing the first question they ask, does anybody have an insurance? What do I get? What the fuck do I get? Because if I don't get anything, I'm gonna wear anything if I decide to come. But if I think I'm gonna get something, I have to prepare and put this act on. You know, get carried out of the funeral home. I gotta play this all the way out like I'm fucking hurting. Because I need this motherfucking money. I need this money. You know, yeah, my boyfriend or husband's gone, but me and the other nigga that I've been fucking, you know, we trying to take a trip to get away from everybody. So we'll use his money, the deceased money, and we'll take cruises. We'll fly this place and that place and fuck all goddamn day and get high and drunk and celebrate and go shopping. You know, and then I'll sign his shit. Because when I'm done with him and he's gone, I gotta find another nigga. I know a lot of people like that. And see, a lot of parents, unfortunately, do the same thing. As soon as the children are in the ground, they call and they press the insurance company for that check. Because you don't need the check to pay for anything, because if the media is involved, the GoFundMe page go up, people are going to pay for the funeral. So you don't need the money for that. See, we got to be clear about a lot of things, and I didn't want to jump over, the subject matter about brother Philando Castile'S, but this is connected to a lot of issues, and so we got to wake up and be responsible, and not let these people die in vain. Don't let these people die in vain. Continue to fight. Continue to keep going back and appealing these convictions until these motherfuckers are in custody. That's when you love somebody. I can even respect the vigilante, which none of you are. So that's why I say just go and go through the legal procedures. Keep appealing it. Keep appealing it until every option is exhausted. Then you've put in some work. But just don't let that one not guilty plea, that guilty verdict, and shut the door and let our people go in vain. And so, Brother Philando Castile'S, I pray and I ask the Creator to, protect your daughter, protect your woman, Diamond. I know that was based on the little controversy that took place. I know that was your woman, because it was another woman that tried to say that you all were together and you weren't. So, the sister Diamond, who I give credit because she continued to fight. She stood up and continued to fight. She kept going, on social media, because she realized that the white media wanted to, shut her off and shut her up. So she continued to keep speaking and speaking and speaking. And hopefully your daughter will not be traumatized to the point whereas she's unable to function in society. So we have to, get together and embrace that little queen and let her know that her father didn't die in vain. That the black community is real, that there are some people in the black community that still live by black African principles that are enabled to embrace you and help you go through the processes in life that you need to go through, that you don't have to do it alone. And that's where the slogan, "It takes a village to raise a child," that's where that comes into play at. So we wanna honor the brother. And we pray that your journey continues to be a journey and that you continue to send us energy. We ask you to send us energy to help us out here, so we're able to move on, so we're able to uphold your legacy and keep your name alive. And so with that, I'll just say Hotep and Ashe. Okay, I want to talk to y'all about this situation with Walmart. I discussed a lot of things concerning Walmart and how they are the leaders in the New World Order, because they believe in socialism, communism, and they are the leaders in the martial law process. They play a major role. But let me share something with you all that you have no idea about. First of all, if you go shopping in Walmart for any clothing, I advise you not to do so. Now, before I get to that, I'm going to talk about an incident that took place in Kentucky, whereas the food stamp system was lifted. In other words, if you were a food stamp recipient, just say if you were getting $200 a month, the limit was lifted. Some type of computer error where it was no limit. You could get $100,000 worth of food if you wanted to. And that's what took place in this Walmart in Kentucky, where the food stamp limit was lifted and recipients could get as much as they wanted in food out of the Walmart. Some people had 7 and 8 carts. There was no food left in the Walmart, none. All the shelves were empty in a matter of a couple of hours. Every shelf. And so you had people coming out of Walmart with 6 and 7 shopping carts. Once the limit was repaired, the system was repaired, the people that were in the Walmart that didn't get a chance to take advantage of that situation, they left the carts, full carts in the middle of the aisles. They left carts everywhere. So you can imagine what the stock employees, the hell that they had to go through restocking the stuff that was just left in the middle of the aisles. And that shows you the greed, and the lack of preparedness that the black community has in case of a fatal emergency. And so that's why it's important to get 2 freezers. You know, you can set your freezers outside, and in the wintertime, all you have to do is slightly lift them, slightly, and the cold air would keep the food fresh and frozen. So if you had, let me ask you something. If you had an emergency in your home today or in your hometown, the emergency will last for at least 30 to 40 days. Do you have enough food in your refrigerator to hold your family for a month and a half? Ask yourself that. And see, that's why it's important. Because we're black people are not prepared. Like the 4th of July. You know, because a lot of y'all celebrate. I can still smell the grease from the pig's ass through the camera. So you ain't got to lie about it. You know, just be real. But nevertheless, we're not prepared. If you got to get 7 and 8 shopping carts full of food, and you don't have any deep freezers, what are you going to do with that food besides sell it or let it go bad? Or give it away, which will be a waste. Knowing that Walmart is already the headquarters for martial law, one of the main important exports underground for transportation to the FEMA camps through these underground highways that they have under most of these Walmarts. Why do you think most of the Walmarts have underground parking with the gate that comes down and closes? Like the same gates that they have in these federal courthouses. Think about it, brothers and sisters. And another thing. Walmart has these stickers, these buttons that are on most of the clothing, the jeans, the shirts, and what have you. They're called, I think, EPCs, EMCs, ECMs, or I forgot the name of them. But they are tracking devices that are placed on the clothing in Walmart. If you don't believe me, go in there and ask. You can go ask. And they are designed. This is what these devils said that they're using these tracking devices in these clothes for. So they will know when they have to order more clothing, you know, to keep count of how much clothing they have. And you know, they couldn't come up with a better lie than that. They are tracking devices in the clothing. So let me tell you, you know, we have to wake up and be prepared. You go in there and buy a pair of jeans, and next thing you know, they know where you're at. They can take all of your identity because you bought a pair of jeans or a t-shirt or a pair of shoes. And they have all your information, your DNA, all of it. And if you are targeted for termination, you will not be hard to find. So, in closing, I just want to say that, you know, brothers and sisters, I'm going to do a continuation to this Walmart piece, but I really just wanted to, give Philando Castile his honors, his credit, and allow the brothers and sisters and people who don't know about Philando Castile to be educated on it. So, our children can go to school back in the fall, and talk about what they learned over the summer about police terrorism. We have to look at things such as those so we can keep our children on point about everything. Don't have them scrambling around for the truth. Drop it on them right then and there. You'd be surprised what a 2 and 3 and 4 year old can register in their brains and what they're able to process. Let's help these babies get a shot of hope and allow them to live, allow them to grow up, protect them. These are our young gods. These are our young warriors. And we have to bring them up and guide them the right way. Have to stop feeding them homosexuality. Have to stop feeding them all this bad food, all this genetic bullshit, all this clone shit. Have to teach them about where they actually come from. Go past these religious texts, so-called religious texts. Take them back past the pyramids and beyond, and let them know who they are, that they are the original man and woman. And that's why the enemy, the devil, is trying their best to take them out any way that they can. There's no other reason why. Because the Ice Ape feels inadequate in the presence of a black god, which the black god and black goddess is the Ice Ape's parents. And they know this. This is why they try to eliminate most of us as quick as possible, especially those who are conscious, that have the ability to wake the masses of the people up. And if you look at our history of our warriors and leaders that have attempted to wake our people up, all of them have been exterminated. With the exception of who? You. You are the greatest warrior and the realest nigga that you know. You haven't watched a television show or anything or read a book that can compare to your story and who you are. So you are the realest nigga that you know. So be true to yourself. Don't worry about being true to nobody else, because if you are true to yourself and you walk in your own greatness, you will have an impact on the masses, a natural impact on the masses, specifically your peers, family. Although family are the last, in most cases, in most black families, to acknowledge that you are a leader, that you are a black god or black goddess, especially if they are not conscious. Because some people do not want you to elevate your thinking, because they're too lazy and too trifling to elevate theirs. It's just like cutting class. You know, average person that cut class want somebody to cut class with them. But if everybody's in class, that person will end up going into class because that's where the masses are. So when you see these young brothers, because I work with the youth, I will continue to work with the youth until the end. And they want to live. They don't want to go out here. They don't want to be murdered. That's just their anger and pain talking. Give them a chance. There's just a lot of misled babies out here that have had an unfair upbringing. So let's embrace them and let them know everything is going to be all right. That somebody cares. Hotel, Black Power.